Hello again out there in remote learning land. Today's wild topic, we're talking about thunderstorms and tornadoes, both brought on by cold fronts, right? Fast moving cold fronts, and usually a collision of air masses, right? A continental polar with a maritime tropical. Pretty wild stuff. We'll go through why they form, how you can predict them, and of course how to stay safe during them. All right. Hope you've been working hard on the do now questions. Again, that will certainly help you out for our regions at the end of the year. I want to start out with some footage from the storm chasers. They get a little crazy. You can tell by the audio, but the video they capture is pretty insane. Keep in mind when you see a house being destroyed, right? That's amazing, right? Power of nature, but it's also a human side to that. And you hope nobody was inside and got hurt or killed, of course. All right, check out this crazy footage.
Look at the trees! Now, don't move and put it in reverse! Put the car in reverse and hold it there. Hold it! Hold it! Hold back, hold back. Okay, stop! Yeah, we're okay. We're still okay. We're still okay. As soon as you see that inflow jacket close, back up. Seriously! Back up! Back up! Okay. Keep going, keep going, keep going! Keep going! Back up! It's coming back to it! Stop the car!
That was a whole house just wiped out right there.
Please be okay. Stay here, Joel. Stay here. Hold on a second. Perfect. Oh, we got a text from this thing right now. Oh my God, we have a good dude. Perfect. You got it? Oh yeah. Joel, we cannot move right now. Yeah, stay in the car. Whoa! Oh my God!
Look at that.
Oh, shoot!
I'm shooting.
This one's pretty wild. As the dust and dirt gets sucked up from the ground, you could start to see the funnel there. Pretty wild footage.
Oh my God, look at the funnel! This is incredible! We're backing up.
We are. Oh, I hope he backs up. He's going to be right in the middle of that.
Oh my God, are you getting me?
I'm getting it.
I gotta get some shots. I gotta get some shots.
Ah!
Hang on.
Ow!
Those concentrated winds can be in excess of 300 miles an hour if it's a really, really big one. So pretty crazy footage there. So the dangers involve, I mean, obviously the wind speed, right, with the debris in the air. But tornadoes can also bring lightning and hail. Lots of potentially dangerous situations there. All right, a thunderstorm in general, right, brought on by a cumulonimbus cloud, heavy rainfall, hail, thunder, lightning, strong winds, all with this upward motion of air, extreme low pressure, unstable atmosphere. It's always this upward motion of air. All right, and lightning, of course, is when you have two different charges in the air. And they want to come together. There's an attraction, right? Opposites attract, positive to negative. And when that happens, you get that flash of lightning or that lightning bolt. Okay? Great picture captured right there. So yeah, light travels much faster than sound. Sound travels a little over, between 600 and 700 miles an hour at sea level. And of course, light travels much faster than that. But anyway, you get this lightning that heats the air to this over 40,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and you get that crazy expansion occurring when you heat something up that quickly and that hot. And it breaks the sound barrier, and of course, that's what thunder is. After that lightning forces the air to expand and breaks the sound barrier. Then a couple seconds later, you hear it. And that delay, right, because sound travels about 1 mile in 5 seconds. So they tell you when you see the lightning, start counting the seconds, right? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. If you get to 5 seconds, well, it's about 1 mile away. 10 seconds, about 2 miles away, etc. But keep in mind that these fronts that bring in these storms can travel 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. So you really, really got to seek shelter if there is a short delay between the lightning and the thunder. Okay? Again, beautiful, beautiful pictures there. Okay? So how do you stay safe during a thunderstorm? Well, first off, make sure you're not the highest point around, right? Then you become the lightning rod. You certainly don't want to stand under a tree because the tree could be the highest point attracting the lightning. If you're in a car, stay in it. All right, it'll strike the car if it strikes the car, and that electricity will flow around the body of the car and ground through the tires into the street. So stay in the car. And obviously, if you're outdoors, right, a lot of times a soccer game or a football game is a big open field. If a storm comes in quickly, you want to seek shelter indoors. Okay? All right. Look at that juxtaposition between the rainbow and the tornado in that picture there. All right, well, tornadoes, right, we call them twisters or cyclones, depending upon what part of the country you're in. They're all low-pressure storms brought on by cold fronts and cumulonimbus clouds. And it's when those two very different air masses collide, right, that CP and that MT. That cold air hits the warm air, and it forces that warm air up fast. And if you get that rotation involved, well, you just might form a tornado. They're very short-lived. Some might only last 10, 15 minutes. Others have been reported to last over an hour. That's a long time for a tornado. Could be over 300-mile-an-hour winds, right? If you're an F5, I'll show you that chart in a second. And the widest they could be is about 1 mile, which is enormous. That would be an F5. But you're not talking as wide as a hurricane, right? A hurricane can be several hundred miles across. All right? Again, more beautiful pictures. Tornado Alley, I'm sure you've heard of it, right? Northern Texas, all the way up to South Dakota, Minnesota. This part of the country receives the greatest number of tornadoes annually, but they can occur anywhere, right? Don't get too smug. We had one in Valley Stream a few years back. There was a tornado warning in Queens just a couple of weeks ago. So they can occur anywhere, but they are most commonly occurring here. There's a radar image of tornado path that occurred in Tornado Alley. Okay, this is the warning that comes over the TVs in those areas, and they need to head to their shelters, right? If you live in Tornado Alley, you better make sure you buy a house with a tornado shelter, or at least a good basement. Okay? All right. There's a little animation coming your way. There he is. Okay. Here's the fajita scale, right? F0 to F5, the most powerful down here, right? 261 to 318 miles an hour. You're talking total devastation at that point. Even concrete structures can be destroyed. So it's truly an unbelievable force of nature. Okay, the one that happened in Queens was an F0 or an F1. And that caused really, really amazing damage. And it was only an F1 just a few years back. Okay, so how do we stay safe during a tornado? Well, first off, get to your cellar, or if you have a basement. If you don't have those, well, find the most interior room of the house, right? That's blocked by as many walls from the outside as possible. Maybe you've heard the old tale of getting into a bathtub, right? Put a mattress over your head, blankets over your head. Yeah, that's smart. Because that flying debris travels so fast, it goes right through the walls of a house. Okay? Stay away from the windows, obviously, right? Broken glass is quite a hazard. And those are the best 3 things you can do. And hopefully you're prepared on top of that as well. So the activity here, you got to read through this true tornado story. Happened in May of 98. It tells you where, when, the speed, all that stuff. I want you to take this information and plot it on this map, okay, from upstate New York. So put an X where it says it happened, and then connect the X's to follow the path of that tornado. And then, of course, there's a couple summary questions after that. All right. So I'll meet you back in the meet in just a few minutes.